Okay. Good morning, everyone. Okay, so this is first class of the Databricks course. Okay, so people might think that why we have to learn the Databricks. So what is the necessity? How the market is for this course especially? Okay. So when you ask that question, I would say that Python, PySpark or Spark, I would say, okay, is everywhere. Okay. Okay. What are all the the applications that we are using? Where all the places that we are using the Spark applications are? I would say if you go to the if let's say if you are going to the Azure data engineering, you guys already know. So I started introducing the Databricks also recently for all my recent batches. Okay. One second, just a second. Okay, I started like introducing the Databricks also slowly because the people have to know the importance of the Spark actually. Okay, so if you take AWS, if you take AWS as a if you take the AWS data engineering services, let's consider AWS is having ETL tool as Glue. Glue. Okay. So this glue also using in the back end PySpark only. Spark, I can say Spark. When I say PySpark, you consider it as a Spark only. Okay. So back end it is completely using glue. Okay. And we have separate service in AWS that is Databricks anyway. So this is not that much famous in AWS. Databricks is not that much famous in AWS because people are already using the glue there. They're completely using the Spark in the backend. Okay. When you come to Azure, the ETL tool here it is ADF. ADF is using completely Spark in the backend. They designed this complete ETL tool with the Spark only. Okay. And Azure is having a separate service on Spark that is again Databricks. And this has become very, 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 very popular nowadays. Very, very, very popular. Okay. You know why? So ADF they're trying to use as an extraction tool or orchestration tool. Extraction means from the sources, they'll try to extract the data. And orchestration means they'll try to schedule the jobs. Mostly they are using ADF as a extraction and orchestration tool. And for processing the data, they are completely using Databricks only. Okay, they of course some of the projects are using ADF also for processing the data. When I check with my friends, when I check with the other people, right, most of the people are using Databricks only for processing the data. Okay, this Databricks backend, they are using Spark. They are using Spark. Okay. So why they are using Spark in the backend? Why only the Spark engine? Why not other engines here? Because you guys know nowadays the data generation is huge. The volume of data increased in last 10 years like anyway. Okay, to process that much volume of data, they have to go with the Spark. Spark can handle large volume of data. Spark can process. Spark is mainly meant for the big data. Spark is mainly for the huge volume of data. Okay, to process it, of course. So sometimes I feel that even in Snowflake also, they used Spark only in the backend. Because I found most of the similarities between Spark and the Snowflake. Many features I found. Many similarities I found. So while discussing this Databricks course, right, I'll discuss that common features between Snowflake and the Spark. Slowly we'll discuss that one. Okay. And if you want to become a data engineer, I would say that please learn Spark. Okay. They are expecting Spark also as a part of data engineering course. Definitely. And Spark is very, 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 very easy, I would say. If you know SQL, then you're almost done with the Spark. Almost done with the Spark. But SQL we do in traditional databases or in Snowflake we do, right? So that is normal SQL. But in Spark, what do we do? Programmatic SQL we perform. Programmatic SQL. Yes, same SQL only, but in a programmatic way we do it. That's it. That is only the difference. That will understand slowly why we have to do, how we have to do that. Okay. So the prerequisite, okay. So in Spark especially, Spark is built on top of Scala language. Scala language. Scala is one of the programming language, guys. Spark is just a framework. That's it. Just a framework. That's it. How we build the frameworks in Python, right? Using programming language, right? In the same way, they built one framework called Spark. In which language? Scala language. Okay. So initially, when it was like 2017, 18, Scala Spark was very famous in the market. Scala Spark was very famous. And after that, when people started using like Python extensively in data engineering applications, okay, like data science people started using Python like anyway. Extensively, they started completely using Python for their applications. When they started using Python, the usage of Python has increased in data engineering also, slowly. Then people started adopting Python with Spark. We can also implement our applications in Python with Spark. That means we can write Python programs in Spark. We can implement the Spark application, Spark code using Python. Okay. Of course, you have R Spark also. Okay. Out of all those things, okay, we are going to discuss about the Python Spark. So in Python, first two words Py and Spark, the complete word they have taken, they are calling it as a PySpark. Okay. So in 2018 and 2017, okay, 80% of the projects they used to use Scala Spark. 20% of the projects they used to use PySpark. Now, after 2020, it has become reverse. 80% of the projects are using PySpark. 20% of the projects are using Scala. Because they started using Python like anyway. And it is user friendly. And of course, it is an open source. Okay, so that is the reason why I have chosen here PySpark. Of course, I worked on Scala Spark also. I have almost 2.5 years experience on the Spark. That too, Scala Spark and mostly on Scala Spark. But I started like adopting the Python as well to that. I just started adding Python to that. See, you will not find any difference. Only 10% of the difference you will find between Scala Spark and Python Spark. The commands are same. The underlying concept is same. Okay, if you understand PySpark, then you're done with the Scala Spark also. The only thing is backend language will change. That's it. Okay. So that is only the difference between PySpark and Scala Spark. That's it. Okay. So what are we going to cover in this particular course? What are we going to cover? So that is what I'm going to discuss here. One second, just a second. So I'll try to discuss mostly. Okay. So when you by end of this course, you can become an expert in PySpark, definitely. So then you can climb as or you can go as big data engineer, definitely. Because I'm trying to discuss the Databricks and PySpark separately here. Separately. Of course, in Databricks, we are going to use PySpark only completely. But I wanted to segregate it. Because the only reason is you can go as a big data engineer. Big data engineer, that's it. Okay. And of course, Databricks, especially I'm going to cover Azure data engineering. Azure Databricks, sorry. Databricks. Okay. So you can claim as Databricks engineer. Databricks engineer. Okay. Slowly, guys, slowly, AWS Databricks also becoming famous nowadays. Slowly. So till last year, it was not that much famous actually. Now, from last year onwards, they made it like the Databricks tool available in the as a free service for few days, and it has become slowly popular. Okay, you can definitely go as a Databricks engineer. So if you open Naukri or Monster like websites, and if you search data engineering there, definitely in all the jobs you will find Spark. Definitely. Definitely, I'm saying. If you want, you can check it out. Along with the database skills, you also need to have Spark skills. Okay. So you can go as a Databricks engineer as well. Okay. So that is for sure. Okay. Now, what are we going to cover in this course? Initially, first 1 week, I'm going to cover the basic Python skills required to understand the Databricks. That is the first one. Whatever the Python like knowledge is required for to understand this Databricks, right? That I'm going to cover in the first week. Okay. And next, so second one, I'm going to start RDD. Okay. This is the basic building block of PySpark. Basic building of PySpark. Of course, in the market, nobody is using this RDD, but still I'm going to cover this one. Why I'm covering if market is not using this particular component is, so for next component, whatever I'm going to discuss, right? So for this one, it is the basic. Okay. So that is Spark SQL. Spark SQL. This is what I'm going to cover. Okay. This is SQL only again. If you are good at SQL, Spark SQL is very easy. Damn easy, I can say. Okay. So RDD is the very fundamental component of Spark SQL. Backend, it uses RDD only. The Spark SQL. So here we have different APIs are there. That APIs we are going to discuss. Okay. Next. So once we are done with the Spark SQL, right? In the Spark SQL itself, Spark Core and Spark SQL I'm going to cover, guys. I'm not writing it separately. Okay, Spark Core and Spark SQL, both I'm going to cover. Don't worry about that. Okay. And after that, I'll try to introduce Databricks. So from here onwards, we are going to execute the commands completely in the Databricks Community Edition. Databricks Community Edition. Okay. So here I'm going to cover all fundamentals of the Databricks completely. What are all the things are required to understand the Databricks? Those are all I'll try to cover. Okay. Some of you guys know that one already. The commands are there, right? Utility commands. Databricks utility commands. So that I'm going to cover here. Okay. And after that, the very famous one is nowadays, that is delta tables. Delta tables. This has become very popular in the market, guys. Okay. Without having database, you can build a data warehouse in Databricks itself. without having database, you can still build a data lake or data warehouse in Databricks itself. That is the use of delta tables actually. Okay, so this I'm going to cover at the end. Okay, so this is the major part that I'm going to cover in next 50 days. The course duration would be, I'm going to take almost close to 50 hours. So the timings you know already, morning 6 to 7. Okay. And the fees I'm charging for this one is only for, I'm allowing, this time I'm allowing only my alumni batch. Most of the people, you guys attended my, the previous classes, right? In the same way, I'm going to continue the course, guys. Okay. With the same pace and with the same passion. Okay. So don't worry, I am not going to leave a single topic also. I don't like skip a single topic also. Whatever is required in real time, that I'm going to cover everything. And the fees I'm going to cover for this course is only 5,000. Okay, for the same course, you go and inquire outside. I'm not saying like the other things here. You go and check the other institutes, other trainers. They are charging almost 15,000 only for Databricks. I'm not that much commercial, you guys know already. Because since you guys attended my previous classes. Okay. Okay. I thought, okay, so this is first batch. I'm going to give chance only to my students. Okay, so that is the reason why I kept like only 5,000 for this course. Okay, I thought this is the minimal course, minimal fees I can say. Okay, that's it. That is about the fees part. Okay, and any questions before I get into the actual topic?
Databricks is ETL tool or what
It
basically
is not an
do?
ETL tool, guys. You can use it as an ETL, but it's a processing engine, I can say. Data processing engine. Okay.
It as a streaming service? No, right? The
Of course,
streaming
we can do
service will.
streaming as well with the database. That and all I'll cover, don't worry. Spark features and all I'll try to cover. Not now. I'll start initially with the Python, and after that, like I'll try to introduce that Spark features and all. We'll get into that one.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, sure. But by hearing the initial statements, it's it can be used to store the tables without building the database in the
Yes,
Databricks.
yes,
So
yes, yes.
it's a kind of very close to the streaming services what we have in the market like
Hmm,
Kafka.
hmm. For streaming, right? They started like introducing Delta Live tables recently.
Okay.
Okay. If I get time, definitely I'm going to cover that part as well. I thought to cover yesterday only. I've decided to cover the even that one as well. Okay. If I get time, definitely I'll try to cover.
Okay.
For PySpark guys, it's better to have an idea on Python. It's at least basic idea. That's it. I'm not expecting a pro from you guys. At least basic idea is enough. Anyway, I'm going to cover that one in this week. But still, if you want to explore more, you guys explore it, please. Because I cannot cover the entire Python here, right? If I start teaching that one again, it will take months to complete this course. Okay? Okay. I'm getting into the topic, guys, actual topic. Okay. I'm starting with the Python here. So before we get into this one, I'm trying to tell you what are we going to cover in Python. So I'm going to cover here the complete data types of Python. Because if you don't understand this data types of Python, you will not understand RDD concepts. You will not understand anything in the RDD concepts. Do not think that, okay, this guy is like doing the time passing things by teaching the Python and this is not required for us. Don't think that like in that way. Whatever I'm going to teach in the class, that is definitely you're going to use it in real time. Definitely. Okay. So as part of that, I'm going to cover number data type, string data type, list data type, dictionary data type, and set data types as well. Okay, all the fundamental data types I'm going to cover here. So these are all data types we are going to cover in the coming week. Okay. So before that one, I would like to tell you what happened when you try to declare a variable in the backend in Python. Okay. So in Python, Python is a object-oriented language actually. Functional language and object-oriented language as well. What does it mean actually? So when you declare a variable in Python, backend it allocates some memory. It allocates some memory and it is going to store that store your variable value in that object. In that object. Okay. So when you say a equal to 10, just a second. Just a second. Okay. When you say a equal to 10, backend what will happen? It is going to create a memory in the backend. This 10 value will be stored in the memory location. Okay. So since it is going to store this 10 values of memory location, but how do I call this one? How do I call this particular value from the memory? This is memory location. This 10 is stored here. How do I call it? So I don't know the address of this memory location, right? To point that address, we are going to allocate some name to that one actually. That is A. Okay. This one we call it as a object. This is a memory actually. So that memory location we are calling with that object name, that is A. Okay. Python is dynamically programming language. What does it mean? Okay. You don't need to define any data type in Python. In other languages, in Java, when you declare some variable, you have to define its data type as well. But in Python, it's not required. Automatically Python interpreter will assign that data type in the backend based on its value, I can say. Okay, let me try to prove that one. See, to practice all these Python programs, guys, whatever I'm going to teach from today, so you need to install Anaconda distribution. Anaconda distribution. Okay, so this is Anaconda prompt, command prompt actually. Hey, here you need to type just Python so that Python prompt will be opened here. Okay, and let me try to maximize this. And you can start executing your queries here. So why I'm asking you to install only Anaconda distribution, why not other tools is? So this Anaconda distribution again will helpful for executing the Spark commands as well. When you install this Anaconda distribution, right? Backend it is going to install the Jupyter notebook as well. So in our entire course, we are going to execute all our programs in Jupyter notebook only. So as per my knowledge, 90% of the people backend use, data science applications and the data engineering applications for executing PySpark commands and Spark commands and Python commands, they use Jupyter notebook only. So we have to habituate to that environment in order to understand the real-time things. Okay, that is the reason why I'm asking you to install the Anaconda. So I'll give you this software. That too in the Anaconda, don't install the latest edition of the Anaconda. I'll give you what to install. You try to install Anaconda distribution only with the Python 3.8. This is the stable version actually. This is the stable version. So you try, I'll give you the software. Don't try to download from the internet and code and install that. Okay, I'll give you the software to install this one. You try to install that software only. Okay, even our PySpark and Databricks things, right, will work with this one actually, easily with this edition. So backend it uses actually Python 3.8 version. Okay. Okay. So what I was saying is when I say a equal to let's say 6, I'm assigning here. So this is just a variable. A is just a variable here. So to represent that memory location. So a equal to 6. I'm just declaring that one. Okay. Value 6 will be stored in a. Okay. So how do you if at all if you want to print this value, what exactly stored in this a? So you can directly type a here. Okay. Or you can use print also here. Print of a. Print of a. So it is giving the same value. You can use directly a or print of a. Anything is okay. So if you type a value, it will try to show. When you print means it will simply try to take that value and print it. That's it. Okay. So here I wanted to know the data type of this one. I know it's a number. I know it's a number. But I wanted to know what Python has considered this value. So in order to know that one, you have to use here print of type of. Type is a method actually in Python. Method or function, whatever you call it. Okay. So you have to use this particular method to know the data type of any variable. Any variable. So inside the type, I'm just using a. That's it. What is the data type of variable a? That is what I'm trying to print here. Okay. Just try to execute this. See, class integer. Integer class. Okay. That means it is an integer data type. So I'm not declaring anywhere here. A is an integer, but backend it is considering it is an integer. That is the beauty with the Python. Okay. That's what I mentioned here. Okay. So I told you, right, backend it is going to use some memory location to understand that one, right? Okay. Just a second, guys. We can directly get it. Okay, so backend it is going to use some memory location, right, to store this particular value. If you want to know that memory location in my my system, right? So you have to use ID of that variable a. ID is nothing but address location where it is pointing in the backend. A is pointing which memory location. That is what I'm trying to identify here. Okay, so just try to execute here. This is the memory location. This is the memory address, I can say, in the hard disk. Okay. So A is pointing this location. A is actually pointing this memory location. A is not actually storing the value 6. The memory location is storing this value 6 and A is pointing this memory location. That's it. Okay. That is one thing. Okay. I'm directly getting into the, this is about the object actually. I'm not talking about the numbers and all here. So I'm talking about the object here. When I say, going forward, when I say some variable name equal to something, if I can take the list also here. List I can define like this: 1, 2, 3, 4. This is also backend. It is going to create an object for this one as well. When I say like this, you try to understand backend. It is going to create an object, and it will actually point the memory location here. Okay, so that is about this one. See here, a equal to 1, 2, 3, 4. I know that it is a list. I know that it is a list, but because whatever you're representing within square bracket, that is nothing but a list. Okay, so how do you confirm that one? So print of type of a. Again, see, it's a list. It can able to identify in the backend. Okay, so we'll slowly. Okay, what are all the fundamental data types we have in Python? These are all the fundamental data types, guys. We have numeric data type is there, dictionary data type is there, Boolean is there, set is there, sequence data type is there. Again, in the numeric, we have integer is there, complex numbers are there, float numbers are there. Okay, slowly one by one we'll get into the things here. Okay, under sequence data type, string data type is there, list data type is there, tuple data type is there. Okay. First one that I'm trying to focus is number data type or numeric data type. Both are same. Okay. So just now I have already told you. So when you try to declare plain numbers here, backend it will try to store in integer format. Okay. Just now I told you a equal to 6 or a equal to 10, a equal to 100, a equal to 10 million, whatever the number you want, you can declare it. You can assign it here. Okay. So if you want to know the data type of that one, you know already the type function we are going to use, or you can use is instance also. That is also okay. Let me try to use that one as well here. So print of is instance of a. Okay. So I'm just trying to take here. What happened here? Expected 2 arguments, got 1. Did I miss anything here? Okay.
Integer.
Sorry.
You should give comma int as well. Is instance, then it will return true or false.
Okay. Got it. Is it integer or not? We can check directly, right? Okay. Oh, I'll give you example on this one later. Okay. First, mostly we are going to use the type only here. Okay. Is instance to check whether that is belongs to that integer class or not, or list class or not, or dictionary class or not. So it is going to return true or false for that. Okay. So A is instance of integer class or not. It is going to return true for that. Okay. So, and after that, just a second. Yeah. Okay. So integers we can represent in that way. Any number you can assign to that. And float. You guys know how to represent the float value here. Okay. So any number which is having some decimal point or decimal value, that we call it as a float value here, right? So I'll try to represent here. Let's say b equal to 10.35. Okay, so this is nothing but a float value. So I know that it is a float value, but backend whether it is recognizing it as a float or not, we need to understand. So for that, you guys know already. So type of we are going to use type of the variable value is the variable name is here b. See here, backend it is able to recognize as a float. Okay. So generally, in order to represent the price columns and the other columns, right? So we are going to take these kind of numbers. Okay. So that is about the float. And see, I'm not focusing too much on these data types here because you already know these numbers formats and all. Okay. And third one is complex data type. Okay. So you know already in the childhood days, we used to write complex numbers, right? A plus IB. We used to represent the complex numbers in X plus IY format or A plus IB. But in Python, we are not supposed to represent in this way. Okay, we have to represent like this. So 2 plus 3j or 2 plus 2.3j. J, we have to represent only j here. I will not work out here because they have fixed in that way. The complex numbers, we have to take only the j, the alphabet j. And that too we have to represent after the number here. So this is the format actually. Okay, so 2.14j. So this is imaginary part in the complex number, and this is the real part in this particular complex number. So since we don't have real number here, so 0 will be the real number here, and this is the imaginary part. Okay. So you can represent like this. So I'll try to define here the complex number. Let's say, so C equal to 1 plus 2j. This is 1 plus, right? Sorry. 1 plus 2j. This is what I'm going to take here. Okay, see here, this is a complex number. So how do you know that it is a complex number? We have to take here again, this one, complex. See, type we have to take, and it is going to give as complex data type in the backend. Okay, I was telling, right? So why don't you mention x plus ib, sorry, a plus ib format here? So if you take like that, if I take I here, it will not recognize, guys, here. I4. If I take like this, see, it is throwing error. I4 is not defined. In mathematics, we used to take like this a plus ib format, but in Python, you have to represent in this way only. A plus 2j. And alphabet, again, you have to use, you're not supposed to use I. You have to use j only here. That too, you need to represent that one in a after number only. Okay, so I have some examples here. I'll just try to explain here. These are the examples. So complex number you can define like this, or without real part also you can define like this. If you don't define the real part, right, then it 0 it will take as a real part in the backend. Okay, so you can represent the negative values also, no problem with that. Okay, backend it is going to take 0 plus minus 5j. 0 plus minus 5j. Imaginary part is negative value. You can take it happily, no problem. And float values you can represent like this. Decimal values, of course, 1.10 or 1.0 or minus the negative values also you can represent. Okay, you can represent even like this also. This is this one, this representation you guys know, right? Mantissa value you are going to represent. 35 into 10 power 10 power 3. So big numbers we generally represent like this. Okay, so 1 to E4 also, capital letters also you can represent here, or you can represent like this also. So all these numbers are float numbers only here. Float values only. Okay. The same example I've taken here, x equal to 1, y equal to 2.8, z equal to 1j. If you do type of all these things, right, you'll get actually the type of x is what? Number. The type of y is what? I think I've assigned it to A, B, C here again. I've converted into float values. Type conversion also we can do, guys, here. That's what I was trying to mention here. Initially, I'm representing x equal to 1, y equal to 2.8, z equal to 1j. Okay, so if at all, if you want to convert the number into float value, you have to take float of that particular value, that particular variable value. Okay, so b equal to, I can convert even float value into integer format. So I can convert even normal number into complex format. So that is type conversion. You can do. That means integer can be converted into float, float can be converted into integer. Okay, normal numbers can be converted into complex numbers. Complex cannot be converted back to normal numbers, guys. But normal numbers you can represent, you can convert it into complex. That is what I was trying to mention here. Okay, you want me to do this one, or you guys can do this one? I'll share the PPT with you guys. You guys can start practicing that one. Okay. Next and most important one is, from here onwards, we'll do practical things one by one. The most important one is string data type. We have to play with this data type, guys. Okay, and this is the most important data type out of all those things. Okay, in interview also you can expect some questions from this data type. They'll ask you, hey, can you write a Python program to reverse a string? Can you write a Python program to find out the whether particular string is palindrome or not? Okay, so can you write a Python program to find out the repeated characters in a string? So how many characters are repeated in a Python in that particular string? So those kind of questions you can expect in interview. Okay, okay. So how Python is going to store that string in the backend? Same way how we are representing in the number, right? Same way it is going to store. So Python can be represented, Python strings can be represented in these three formats, guys. You can represent the string in single quotes. You can represent this string in double quotes. You can represent the string in triple single quotes. Any of the thing is okay. Most of the time we are going to use like single quotes only, or you can represent in double quotes. No difference at all. No memory like differences. I mean, memory calculation difference and no other differences are there. All are same actually here. All are same. Okay. Now let me try to take here. So how to represent that string here? Let's see. Let's say I'm taking here string is a just variable name. Okay. Within single quotes, I'm going to take here hello Python. This is what I'm going to take. This is a string actually. String. Okay. So let me execute this one. See what happens here. Enter. So how do I know whether this is a string or not? Again, same approach. So you have to use type of str. Okay, just check that one. See, class string. Backend it actually stores in a string format. Okay. Now I'll try to represent the same thing in a double quotes here. Double quotes. Okay, double quotes here. Just try to execute this one. See what happens. And type of str. See here, str. Okay, and one more thing I wanted to tell you guys here. See, initially when when I represent str equal to hello Python, backend it is going to allocate some memory location, and in that memory location, it is going to store this particular string, right? I can reassign the same string to the str. Or if you try to represent the different string to this str, what will happen? Will it override that object? See, what I'm trying to say is backend, it is going to create an object. In this object, it is going to store actually hello Python. This is the string actually. Now, what I will do is I'll try to add one more extra character here. Hello Python, hello data engineering Python. That's what I wanted to introduce, assign. To same variable, you can assign any of the string. Okay. So once you, okay. Once you assign, let's say hello DE Python. This is what I'm going to assign here. Hello DE Python, data engineering Python. Then what will happen? What do you think here? So is it going to override this particular object in the backend, and it will start appending this DE in between hello and Python?
No,
No. What will happen then?
it will create the other one. Strings are immutable.
It is going to discard this particular object in the backend, and it is going to create one more object to point that particular memory location again. Okay, this memory location we are going to point with the str. Inside this one again, hello DE Python will be stored. When you reassign that one, backend object will be destroyed. Okay, it will not overwrite. Objects are immutable. Okay, that is what I wanted to tell you here. And this memory location is different, and this memory location is different. If you want, I can prove that one. Okay, let me try to assign that one here. Hello Python is the first one. Now, if you want to know the memory location of that one, what is that number what is that command we have to use? What is that command
ID.
we have to use?
ID.
ID, right? Okay, let me try to take that ID here. ID.
This is immutable for only string or other
For everything, for all the other data types as well. For everything. Okay, so this is the number actually when I try to represent string with double quotes here. Okay, now this time what I will do is str equal to, I'll try to take this time string in a 3 single quotes guys here. You can represent the string in this way also. Okay, so hello DE Python. This is what I'm going to discuss. Same object representation is same here. You have to end with the 3 single quotes here. You can represent like this or like this or like this also. No problem at all. Any of the representation is okay. Okay. Let me execute this one. See what happened? Okay, it got executed. Now, if you check the ID here, this ID and this ID both are same. Both are pointing to the same memory location. No, no way. No way. That means what I can conclude from this one is when you reassign any of the value to variable, it is going to create a new object in the backend. It will not override the existing object. This is the conclusion point here. Okay. So that is the representation of string, guys. Okay. Now moving on. Okay. Next, if you want to extract a substring from the string, how do you do that? Or if you want to access a particular character from the string, how do you access that? Guys, please try to focus on this one because the same concept we are going to use in the list, tuple, and the dictionary as well. All other data types, we are going to use the same concept. There, I'm not going to focus much about this concept again. Okay. See here. Remember one point, guys, here. Backend, Python will store this particular string in a list format, actually. In a list format. So string is nothing but a sequence of characters. Sequence of characters. Sequence of list of characters. You can say like that also. Okay. So Siva, you're saying that string is a list of characters, right? Or sequence of characters, right? Then if I have, let's say, if I say str equal to, I'll just mention within single quotes A, that's it. Now how it is going to take, but it's not a sequence of characters, right? Now what is the data type of this one? Is it a string or some char? In SQL, generally we have char data type and the varchar data type or the string data type, right? To represent a single character, we used to take generally char data type, right? But do we have char data type in Python? I would say no. We don't have a separate char data type in Python. Even single character also Python will treat as a string only. Okay. You can represent any single character to variable. You can do that. We don't have any char data type in Python. We have only one data type related to string, that is string. So since it is storing in the backend in the form of list actually, so list index always starts from the 0. So when you say str equal to hello, backend it is going to store like this. Hello in a list format indirectly. Okay. Now the list index always starts from the 0. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on. When I say hello space Python, space is also one of the character. So it is going to take that space also here. Okay. So Python, again, it will continue the numbers again here. Okay. So I'll take example of hello here. The index always starts from the 0 here. When if you want to access this particular index, this particular character in the string, then you have to say that particular variable of the index value will represent. Okay, so this position index 0 is the first position actually. When I say string of 0, you'll get H. When I say string of 1, you'll get E. When I say string of 2, you'll get L. And again 3, L. Again 4, O. So backend it is going to store like this actually. If you want to access a particular character, you have to access like this. Let's try to take that one here. Okay, I'll take the same example here. str equal to, I'll try to take in a single quotes or double quotes or triple single quotes, anything you can take here. Hello. Yeah. I'll try to represent like this. str equal to hello. Okay. Sorry. Hit enter here. Yeah. So it is variable is created in the backend. Okay. So if you want to access one by one character from the string, right? You have to take like this. str of. So index always you have to represent in square brackets only, guys. Index always you have to represent in square brackets. Okay. Index string of 0. What you're getting? H. What you're getting? H. And next, so string of 1. Okay, what you're getting? E. String of, let's say in place of 1, I'll try to take 4. What you'll get? What character you'll get? Fourth character. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So O you're getting here. Or you can take print also here. So print of str of 4 also you can take. This one also you can take it. So this one. I told you, right? Taking the variable is represent and printing is different. So you'll get actual value here. You'll get printing value like this. Printed value like this without single quotes. Okay? Getting? So this is about the string representation and string accessing. Okay. Still, this is not at over, guys. Still, we have many things are there here. Okay. So for this one, actually, we have 5 different types of syntaxes are there to represent that characters or the what I can say, this one substrings. So tomorrow we'll actually start that one. I'll tell you different use cases and different examples on that one. How to access the particular substring and how to access only these particular characters. That and all I'll try to discuss. And formula also I'll discuss for this one. Okay. Yeah, that's all for today. Any questions, guys? So if you don't understand this one, I'm betting, guys, you will not understand anything in the Spark actually. Because Spark will give the output everything in a list format or tuple format or other data type format. So in order to understand all those things, right, you have to have this knowledge. I always believe on fundamentals. Okay. Yeah, that's all.
Thank you.
Thank you, Shiva.
Shiva, if you don't mind, can you please share that course details, like what are the topics we are covering?